8 is greater than 4, but 1/8 is less than 1/4 because the more times that we partition or split up a whole, or the more equal pieces that we have, the smaller each piece is. We're going to look at some examples and practice dividing whole pieces of paper into equal parts to show that the more parts we have, the smaller each part will be. First, let's look at these two pieces of paper. We can all agree that each piece of paper is the same size. Now I'm going to cut them into equal parts. We will partition the first piece of paper, this one, into 4 equal parts so that each piece represents 1/4 of the whole. There are 4 equal parts and each piece equals 1/4. When we put them all together, we can see that they still make the same size piece of paper. Next, I'm going to partition the second piece into 8 equal parts so that each part equals 1/8. I want you to notice the size of these pieces as I cut them compared to the size of the pieces as I cut the other one. Now, this piece still represents the same size, the same amount that it did before. It still equals 1 whole, just like the other one. But each piece of paper represents 1/8. Whereas each piece in this one represents 1/4. When we lay them side by side, we can see that although this piece has more parts than this one does, they still equal the same size. They're still equal to each other. They still equal 1. Now I want you to take a look at the size of each part in these. This one, which represents 1/4, compared to this one, which represents 1/8. The part that is 1/4 is a lot bigger than the part that is 1/8. So we can notice that although this whole has more parts, 8, than this whole does, which has 4, the parts in the whole are different. The more parts we have, the smaller each piece is. Now, let's look at another example. Suppose we have 2 pizzas. We're going to share the first pizza with 3 friends, and we are going to share the second pizza with 5 friends. So, since we want each friend to get the same size pizza, we're going to cut the first one into 3 pieces and the second one into 5 pieces, like I have shown. Now, I want you to look at the size of each piece. The pizza that we are sharing with 3 people has much bigger parts than the pizza we are sharing with 5 people. Each part represents, in the pizza we're sharing with 5 people, represents 1/5. And each part in the pizza we're sharing with 1 people represents 1/3. And although 5 is bigger than 3, the pieces over here are smaller than the pieces over here. And I don't know about you, but I like bigger pieces of pizza, so I would rather have a piece that represents 1/3 over a piece that represents 1/5. This goes to show us that the more times we divide our pizza, 5 times we divided it here, 3 times we divided it here, the smaller each part is.